Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo and welcome to my scrapbook table. This layout is fulfilling a couple of things. It is my layout for the Beautiful Blossoms challenge blog, which means we're focusing on floral things. And it is for Iron Crafter, which happens on the same day, the 15th of the month. And the theme this month is flowers. So that worked out perfectly. So let me show you what I have pulled so far and what my ideas are. I am using this piece of paper, which is from 49 & Market Spectrum Gardenia Foundations paper. And I like the pinks, and I can pair other things with it that I think are going to work nicely. I pulled a few items, like these. I haven't decided what my title will be yet, but I've pulled these. I have labels, some little small word pieces, sunshine and happy day. I have this one that says happy people, one that says in the sun, some flowers, a butterfly, and some little round pieces as well. Here are the two flower pictures that I'm using. They're pretty much the same photo, but one is taken a little further away, and so I'm going to have those in the middle of this circle in some form. And I also pulled out this. It is 49 & Market Kaleidoscope. These are the laser cut wildflowers. I pulled just one out here, but I'm going to layer several of these on this circle, kind of like a wreath. And here is kind of a close-up of that, very detailed. And there are lots of different flowers here that I can make work with what I already have out. I also have some tickets from 49 & Market, some pieces of fabric tape that I might use in some way. I don't know. I've never used that before. And I also have some black frames left over from another project that may or may not go on here. So I'm going to get busy and I'll be back and we'll go from there. I thought I would show you what I ended up doing with the fabric tape that came out of this box. There's all colors in there in a roll. And so I put some on white cardstock. I ran it through my little mini die cutting machine here. One of the best purchases I ever made is this little machine. And it gave me another kind of flower that has some texture to it, and I was really excited about that. I did the same with a yellowy green for some other leafy bits. And I also used this die from, I believe, Picket Fence. And I cut it out. Then I ran it through an embossing folder, just a random embossing folder. Then I used some inks and my little brush to give it a little bit of dimension. They're not perfect by any means, but they're going to be covered mostly. And so all of that inking that isn't really that well blended, it doesn't bother me in the end because there's so much else layered on top of these. These were just to help me give my wreath a little bit more of a base. So I decided I wanted to use these leftover black frames, and I'm just putting one in each corner here. And I realized I put the glue on the wrong place. So there we go. I just put the larger one behind the bigger photo, the smaller one behind the smaller photo. My photos are layered. I also have some scrap cardstock behind those photos to lift them up. And now I'm thinking about my title, and I decide to go with Paradise in the Sun. And I layer the little piece in the sun on a black ticket, or I'm sorry, a green ticket. And then it's time to start building my wreath. So I cut apart some of the, or tore apart, I guess, some of the pieces so that I could get them to curve the way I wanted them. And they not only have these nice big leaves, but there's also that little swirly bit. So I have that going around, and now those are glued down, and I'm thinking about where am I going to put these flowers. I did not have you watch all of it, but I took a long time and put dimensionals behind these florals and leaves that I'm laying down now and the hummingbirds, because I wanted those to be up. I wanted some dimension. And it took a long time, But that's okay. I just had something playing in the background to listen to while I did that. But I didn't figure you wanted to watch all of that. It was pretty boring. And now I'm deciding where I'm going to put flowers. Some are from a die cut pack, and some are from the laser cuts. And I just start layering them along with the ones that I created out of that fabric tape. And I'm just getting them where I want them. I decided I was not going to push anything down until I had it where I wanted it. And then I put some of these ones that I created. There's already dimensionals on the back of them. And this wreath ends up pretty busy, but I think it's okay. It's a little busier than my usual pages, but I like it, and I love the topic. I love where we were. Had just gotten off the ship in February when we went on a cruise. It was the scrapbooking cruise that I went on, and Dan went with me, and we were in Roatan. We were ready to go explore. It's a beautiful day. And since we are from Ohio, we were enjoying soaking up the sun. The weather was pretty mild. It wasn't incredibly hot. We took a cruise one time in June to Bermuda and the Bahamas. That was very hot. This was nice and warm, but not sweltering, which is nice for me. So I'm layering things, and I hadn't glued that all down yet because I wasn't sure what I wanted to be above the frame or below the frame. Now I have these ones that I created out of a yellowish green, the fabric tape. And I used a Tim Holtz die that I have with some just leafy bits. And that gave me something different to add to my wreath. Change things up, and because often wreaths have little spiky things in them, so that's why I created these. They are a little hard to glue down though because they're really small, really narrow. I think I will probably go back, and to the flowers that I created, I think I will add a little bit of yellow ink to the centers so that they look like they go with the flowers that are already there. Now, in a few minutes, once I start finishing up, I realize I need some greenery under the title, so I do take care of that. Gluing down a butterfly, and I end up putting double layers of Stampin' Dimensionals, the mini ones, under there, so that the wings stick up a little farther than everything else. I also put dimensionals behind my title. I probably used half a sheet of those mini dimensionals and another quarter sheet of the one that's just a whole sheet, and you trim it yourself to the size you want. So I add this little banner here, and I'm sorry I don't have the page in front of me to tell what that says. There we go. That one says Happy Day, I think. And I did want to do some journaling, and I thought about writing right on the paper, but then I'm like, oh, if I mess it up, then what am I going to do? So I trimmed the word paradise off of here because I already have that as part of my title, and I just wrote a little bit about where we were and how we were ready to enjoy the day. So this pack of tickets, there's 3 different sizes in their rolls. I add this little tab, and eventually I write the date on there, but I don't think you see that. This wax seal is left from a project last week, and it's the right color for this. And it says with love, which, I mean, that doesn't really go with the page in particular, although, I mean, obviously we do love each other. But I decided I was just going to go ahead and use it because it added a different element and the colors worked, and it gets it used up and off my desk. Then I decided to use some Nuvo drops. I'm not sure I should have. One place they did smear and I had to cover that up. I love the idea of Nuvo drops. I don't like how I usually end up using them. I'm not very confident in using them. I'll just say that. It's not the fault of the Nuvo drops. It's definitely the user. So I just went around. There is some black splatter on the paper as is, so this just kind of added to it. I decided I did not like that up there, but I needed something up there, so I switched it out for a different little word thing, and I put a little bit of greenery behind it, and that just goes up in the corner. I'm not sure I really like that any better, but now it's glued down with liquid glue, and it's staying. Since I have a butterfly in the top left, I decided I want another, so I trim that out, and eventually I add a third little tiny one. So, Iron Crafter, the challenge was florals. Beautiful Blossom Design Team blog, the challenge is florals. So, I'll have links in the description box below to both of those. There's a playlist or the blog where you can see the challenge. So I encourage you to go and check those out. Thank you, Tara, for organizing the Iron Crafter challenge every month, and to Donna for hosting the Blossoms one. And this is where I realize I need some more greenery. Oh, nope, this is the other butterfly. But soon in the photos at the end, you'll see that I do add something beneath the title at the top. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And my regular viewers, I'm grateful for your support. I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you hit subscribe. I hope you have a great day. And I hope that you get to scrapbook something very soon. Bye-bye.